Hello, everyone. I pray that you all are having a blessed day. Today, I woke up and let's just say yesterday, I woke up and I had hurt my leg. My hip was hurting really bad, and this morning I could barely walk. And so I called my doctor and tried to get an appointment to go in and get checked out. And there weren't any appointments available today, so they were able to get me an appointment on Monday. So I was like, okay, what other options do I have? And so they said, well, you could try one of the local urgent cares. And so I was like, all right, cool. They said just make sure that it takes your insurance. And here's two possibilities. So my wife helped me look up a urgent care in my area. And so I went over to the urgent care. I went to the first one, and oh my goodness, I got there right when they were opening it. And there was so many people already in there. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of have a busy day. I got some things I need to be. And so I was like, okay. So I called my wife back. I said, can you find another one nearby? So I drove to the next one. And I get in there and I'm sitting in there, and there's only maybe two or three people ahead of me, and I'm listening to them talk about how one of their techs they had to send home was early because they were sick, and how their doctor was going to be sick, and how they didn't have an X-ray technician there. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna how's this gonna work, And so I get done registering, and then finally they somebody else comes in and they're like, well, you know what, you can always do a virtual appointment. And I'm like, okay, so everybody here in this place is sick, let me just do a virtual appointment. So they schedule me for a virtual appointment, and it's in like 15 minutes. So I leave the building trying to be safe. I go outside and I take the virtual appointment in the car, and I talked to a doctor on a virtual call. They're, I think, in another state. And next thing you know, they're like, well, let me see your leg. Can you show it to us? Move around. I'm like, well, I'm sitting here and I try to get out of my car and I can't because I'm literally stuck in the car because of the pain. So they say, okay, we'll go back inside, get an x ray, and then we'll go from there. And I told them, I'm like, their x ray tech isn't here. So long story short, I go back inside, and then they said, well, they shouldn't have sent you back inside. Long story, we need you to go over to our other facility. There's doctors there. There's no x-ray tech there, but there's doctors there. They can see you. So I'm getting kind of frustrated. And then they're like, okay, well, we'll make you another virtual appointment in this. Long story short, 20 minutes later, I'm over. Or 20 minutes away is the new facility. Well, I say all that to say this, that in the midst of this frustration, I am in a lot of pain because my hip is hurting very, very bad. Scale of 1 to 10, it's probably about a 12. And I say all this because I stop, or should I say, as I'm driving, I want to call my wife and let her know, give her a status update of where I am at. And so I'm telling her about what's going on. And then, just in the midst of all of this, you know what? I just felt a sense of gratitude, for first and foremost for me having options. Some people don't even have that one option for medical care, and here I am complaining because I have several options and they're not moving fast enough. So I had that sense of gratitude, and I said to my wife, I said, you know what, I said, even though I'm frustrated and I'm having them do all this moving around, I praise God for watching over us and taking care of us, and him providing us with medical care, and him providing us with insurance, and him providing us with transportation and all of this. And it just made me, I just felt overwhelmed with a sense of gratitude for this situation. And I get to the next place, and they're like, well, we can't really issue any strong medicine. It's kind of just like some, just to get you through, just like some Motrin or something like that. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me just let me just rethink this. And I had a long conversation with the lady. She explained everything so thoroughly, just totally complete opposite than the first place. Not that they were rude, but she just explained everything to me, how it works. And so I was like, okay. And then it's funny because I left there, and Then I went to meet a friend and we had such a great conversation. And the conversation, he just blessed me tremendously by just pouring into me. And you know what? Sometimes people, they're not, their intention is not to give you advice. However, in them sharing their story, God will use that to then enlighten you, then to feed your spirit. And that's what exactly what happened today. There were so many topics that we talked about, and God just this divine revelation on so many different topics just entered my spirit because of this conversation. And I didn't expect the conversation. Usually it's great conversations with my friend, but we were there to talk about one thing and then we started talking about other things, and I was just once again just so grateful for this conversation. And then after that, I went with my wife to, she had a scheduled doctor appointment for a checkup. We went there, everything was great. Then after that, we knew going out of the house that we were going to go to the supermarket. They were predicting some snow to come in the next couple days, and so we just wanted to, when people say snow, you got to get milk and bread and eggs, and people don't even eat eggs, and they still get eggs. But anyway, so we go to the supermarket, and we're leaving the supermarket, and just once again, it started snowing. It was like flurries coming down. I'm like, wait a second, you know what? This is crazy because it's not supposed to snow for a couple more days. But you know what? Once again, that spirit of gratitude came over me to say, God, thank you. Thank you for so many different things. Thank you for the insurance this morning. Thank you for the transportation. Thank you for the options. Thank you, Lord, for not making my situation worse. Lord, thank you for the great conversation I had today with my friend. Thank you for me being able to go to my wife's appointment. Thank you for us being able to purchase groceries. And now, in the brinks of it's about to snow, possibly a storm. Lord, you provided us with a warm home. And after that, I just thought, what can I complain about? What can I complain about? God is blessing our finances. We can go make groceries, and we blessing our home. We have a warm home, a dry home to come to. And I thought about this and I was just like, you know what, God, just thank you. And it made me just think about all the times that I'm complaining and all the times that you may be complaining. And I want us to turn that around. We're in this new season, this new year. Turn it around. So instead of what are we complaining about? What are we celebrating in our lives? Lord, I get to celebrate a good friend that I can have a conversation. I get to celebrate that I can go to appointments with my wife. I get to celebrate that we have insurance and medical care. I get to celebrate that we have a reliable vehicle. What in your life? Stop looking at the stuff that you complain about. Look at the things that you're grateful for and celebrate those things. Celebrate for the fact that you're in college and you have a class to go to. Celebrate the fact that you have the means to go to college. Celebrate the fact that you have a job. Instead of complaining about your boss all the time, celebrate the fact that you have a job. Celebrate your family instead of complaining about it. Celebrate your finances. Celebrate your ministry in your life. I want to challenge you to celebrate the things that God has blessed you with. Be thankful, be grateful, celebrate these things. Stop complaining, leave complaining in the past, leave complaining. Complaining was last year. This year, we're going to celebrate. And that's one of the things my friend talked to me about stop complaining. Stop complaining about the things. You know what? Recently, it was like my wife wanted to go. She wanted to go somewhere, and it was like an hour drive. And I was like, you know what? I really don't feel like driving that far. And I was complaining. But you know what? The next day, I was like, you know what? I get to drive my wife rather than I have to, or I don't want to, or I'm complaining, or I'm mumbling and grumbling. And my wife said to me, she's like, you know what? She's like, it's an hour long drive, and I know you're upset. And if we get in the car tomorrow to drive and you're upset, then it's just going to make me more anxious. And I said to her, you know what? I'm not going to be anxious. I'm not going to be upset. And who we kidding? It's happened before. But in the morning, God just changed my heart. And in the morning time, I just woke up excited that I get to drive my wife somewhere. I'm celebrating the fact that I now get to spend time with my wife. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. Have a spirit of gratitude and celebrate the things, celebrate the blessings in your life. Stop complaining about everything. Turn that complaining into celebrate. Exchange one C for another C. Instead of complaining, now we're going to celebrate. Celebrate the small things. Celebrate every single victory in your life. Celebrate the blessings that God has bestowed upon you and your family. Thank you so much for listening. I pray once again that you are having a blessed week. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless.